Okay.
I'm good.
Love this, man.
Good conversations. It's been a vibe, you know. How you been?
You wish that was you, huh? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind Season 6, Episode 7. For the people who like long videos, honey, we are going to be camped out today. I didn't even realize how many notes I wrote until I sat here and I opened up my notes and I said, wow, we're going to be here for a minute. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I forgot to say it, but if I don't say it, someone's going to do it. Do not spoil. It's episode 7. At this point, y'all know the routine. We're only talking about episode 7. I've unblocked the people who spoiled the first batch. You will be blocked again if you spoil again. So Jimmy tells Chelsea that he is not out to hurt her. Obviously, this is from the argument that they had about AD and how he conducted himself. And she just says that she wants her feelings to be validated.
I love you, and I don't ever want to put you in a position where you feel sad or hurt.
I just need you to hear me out when I feel sad.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to say your feelings are valid. I hear you.
I'm a little hard-headed. I know.
You are
A little hard-headed. You gotta work with me.
I fully agree with her in saying that she would like her feelings to be validated from her partner. Absolutely. Yes, Chelsea, we agree. However, she needs to take responsibility for how many situations she purposely puts herself in to make herself feel bad. And then is looking for other people to make her feel happy. Because like we said on live, if you are on live, you already know, the bathing suit thing, the AD situation, the comparing to, what's her face? The girl with the baby. She constantly brings up stuff that she knows she has an issue with internally, but is going to bring light to it. Jimmy makes a comment. She doesn't like the comment. She gets upset, and then she wants Jimmy to comfort her when she brought up the issue in the first place. I don't understand. I really don't get it. Should your partner validate your feelings? I believe that they should. Should you also be cognizant of the things that you are prone to be upset about and maybe not highlight them at any given moment? Yeah, I think so as well. I think Chelsea needs to be aware of what her pain points are and not necessarily avoid them, but don't magnify them at the very least. Brittany and Kenneth talk about raising mixed children, and she feels like she's capable, and she hopes that AD brought up the conversation also believing that she's capable and not thinking that she wouldn't be able to potentially raise mixed babies.
If they're coming from a root of like thinking that I'm unable to handle it, I just hope people are being like intentful.
I didn't get ill intent. I
Good.
did not.
I have always ran into like, okay, you know, if you marry a black man, like these are the things that you will face. She is a black woman and she can relate to you. Whereas like I identify as a white woman.
We need to remove the word identify from Brittany's vocabulary. I'm tired. What did she say? Since you identify as a black man and AD identifies as a black, identify where? She can't identify as anything else. Like, what? Imagine I came to y'all and I said, I identify as, oh, well, that wasn't going to work. I was going to say Hispanic. That doesn't work. I identify as, well, wait now. No, I could say I identify as white and you would look at me crazy. I was going to think of some other things and that actually would have worked. But if I came and said I identify as white, y'all would be like, this girl is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I am unsubscribing. We spoke about it last night too. I think she's trying so hard to be politically correct. Kudos to her. Some people wouldn't give a damn. But yeah, no, it doesn't work in this context. Anyways, she acknowledges that being with a black man holds a different weight than being with a white man. And to the people in the comments who think that raising black children is the same as raising any other kid, I'd love to live in that reality where that was true. It's just not. Most cultures, other than white, do have to consider things that a lot of white people don't have to consider. That's just the reality of life. I see it the most, being a Black person, in Black households. So because she acknowledges dating a Black man is different than dating a white man, I would assume she also acknowledges that raising Black or mixed biracial children is different than just raising white kids. So anyways, he is concerned about his family's opinion about things. And I wonder if this is what is playing through his mind throughout the episode, because we see a shift in Kenneth. And I'm thinking to myself, now Kenny, what's going on? What is going on? So the couple's go on a few dates. There really wasn't much to point out besides Clay likes to be a little passenger prince, okay? He's out there in the passenger seat. He's like, I love red light kisses. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. I'm like, oh, Lord. But honey, you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. I'm not judging. That's for them. And they love it. That's great. Jeremy and Laura talk about the back and forth that they had the night before. She feels triggered because in previous relationships, she has been embarrassed by partners in the same way that she felt embarrassed the night before.
If I tell you a story and I say jokingly, go do something, we have
I didn't do it, but if I fuck up, I need to handle it a hell of a lot better than I handled it last night, because you didn't deserve the silent treatment that you got last night.
Yeah, if we're actually gonna get married, then it's like, what happened last night is not it.
No, absolutely.
I totally understand where she's coming from in the sense that you are here confiding in your partner, you're saying something in jest, and they use it against you in a way. That is embarrassing. However, the joke that was said to me was not a joke. Shouldn't have been said or repeated. I don't know what y'all do in your own circles, but I'm sorry. That to me was not funny. It wasn't funny. And once the people involved expressed that it wasn't funny to them, that's when it stopped being a joke. I don't know why Laura doesn't understand that. Laura is such a stickler in her own life. She's so strict about what she likes, what she doesn't like, especially when it comes to how Jeremy, conducts himself. But when it comes to herself, she expects everybody to have this grace for her. No, sorry. You want to dictate how Jeremy needs to act in your relationship. Other people can then dictate how you act in your relationship with them. If they don't find it funny, the joke is dead. The joke is done. It's no longer funny. So anyway, she tells Jeremy that something like that will never happen again in terms of him using their private conversations to embarrass her. And I hope that she decides not to joke like that again. Amy and Johnny are doing so well that both of them are starting to think, is this too good to be true?
Julieta and Johnny.
Julieta.
Julieta?
Pronounce it with the...
Julieta?
Yeah.
Okay, Julieta.
Everything's perfect, and I feel like everything is great, and I think that's what makes me nervous.
Kind of want that initial first fight just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Amy, where's the cap on the toothpaste? Johnny, why don't you flush the toilet?
Oh God.
It's gonna be bad too, and I feel really bad about it, but that is one of the things I feel like need to know before we actually get married too.
I believe that disagreements are important, not necessarily these blow-ups that they're anticipating, which is weird to me. Why are you waiting for a big bust-up with your partner, yelling at each other, don't do this, don't do that? Why? It doesn't have to be like that. Obviously, I've never seen, every single altercation between my parents, but yelling was not a thing in my household at all. And my parents have been married for what? If my brother is 35, my parents have been married for almost 40 years. Damn! Good on y'all. They've been married for almost 40 years. I've never seen my dad yell at my mom. I've never seen my mom yell at my dad. They've told me about different disagreements that they've had, but even still, it's just a disagreement. I think that it's good for couples to go through those conflicts because it helps fine-tune your conflict resolution skills. Speaking of, Brittany and Kenneth, they might need to work through their conflict resolution because Kenneth seems to be the type to avoid conflict whenever things aren't going his way or things aren't going well. We don't actually know what's going on with Kenneth, but he's clearly retreated mentally.
I feel so happy.
I do too.
Do you see how I'm always, do you appreciate, do you like that? What is your view on physical touch?
I love it. It's a piece of security.
Good.
When you touch me, it make me feel good.
Good.
The only thing that comes to mind with Kenneth and why he's shut off so quickly is the closer that they get to going home, the more he's realizing, hold on, this interracial thing might actually be an issue. That's the only thing that I can think of, because what has actually happened between them? Nothing. Not if you ask me. So being in the honeymoon, being in the Dominican Republic, everything is great. There's nothing to worry about, but the real world problems are looming. And I think it's starting to weigh heavy on his mind. Later on, they talk about physical intimacy, and she says that it's really important for her. He says it is as well, but she has had to ask him multiple times now to be more physical. She's saying, you can grab me, you can touch me. And he's saying, well, I don't want to smother you. Well, she already said do not. She already said do more. It's great that he's being respectful, but he's retreating, and we don't know why. What's happening? What's happening, Kenny? What's going on? Don't tell me. Don't spoil. We're not doing that. But yeah, something's going on with Kenneth, and we need to figure out what it is. I think it's the interracial part, but who knows? AD and Clay are talking about home life, and then there's a weird shift that happens. They all of a sudden have nothing to talk about.
You good?
Locked in. I don't know, I really don't want to let you down, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel that, like,
Is that what you're thinking?
yeah.
How are these couples already having these awkward, there's nothing to say moments? And there's a difference between just being in the moment, taking something in and not just talking about nonsense. But they genuinely seem to hit a wall, both AD and Clay and Kenneth and Brittany. They've really hit a wall. So Clay then says, oh, I'm worried about disappointing you. Now, why are you worried? What happened? What happened in that head of yours that is now making you think you're worried? He doesn't really go into it. He says, oh, there's just a lot going on in my head, and I'm just thinking a lot about things and whatever. I wanted AD to ask questions. Ask more questions. All he said was, I'm worried about disappointing you, but don't worry about it. No, I'm going to worry. Sure, you can be in your head. I'm an overthinker too. Boy, do I be overthinking. I be jumping to conclusions and all kinds of stuff. But the problem with him is that he went from silence to a big statement like that. AD felt the shift happen. Why didn't she investigate more about it? I don't know. Does she not want to come off as like combative on TV or something? I'm not quite sure. But her being this passive with Clay is going to be an issue. The couples get to meet on the beach again, and Chelsea and AD have joined the sex club. Apparently for Chelsea, it took the disagreement about AD's body to really get them going.
I'm glad that you talking about my ass helped you and Chelsea get to the next level.
Not that it was that disagreement in general, but a disagreement, and it happened to be about AD. Okay, let me clean it up a little bit. But Johnny and Amy also have a healthy sex life. Issue is they have a different perspective on birth control, having children, things of that nature.
She's not on birth control, and like I want kids, but not right now.
I remember
Flexibility, we'll do what I want to do, take trips, like just us two together.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about anyone else. I just always thought that like everyone was on birth control, like that's it, because all my like, no, it's hormones change up your entire chemistry. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, cool, you're on it. Bet that conversation's done, like out of the way.
I am not on birth control, so I can't speak to the negative effects of birth control, but I have heard women talk about it. We were just talking about birth control earlier today in our group chat, and there's, weight gain, hormonal changes, all kinds of stuff. So if she doesn't want to get on it, I hear it. I hear it. It's a daunting task for a lot of women, okay? And she wants to have kids. So I understand why she wouldn't get on the birth control. If he doesn't want to have kids, it's going to be a joint effort. Wrap it up, sweetie. Wrap it up every time. Every time. Because even then, you could still get pregnant, but at least you tried, right? The issue is I feel like they haven't spoken about their timeline on when they want to have kids. He doesn't want to have kids anytime soon. Amy seems like if she got pregnant today, she wouldn't be bothered. So they have to iron out that conversation, because that'll be, oof. Wait, now that I'm thinking about it, were they already having unprotected sex? And he was maybe what, like pulling out or something? Because why would they have to now take it slow if they were already wrapping it up? Guys, you guys didn't know each other a week ago. You're having unprotected sex? Guys, is that what they were saying? Guys, is that what he was saying? Lord have mercy. Jeremy apologizes to AD about the bean dip situation, and they both start opening up about how things are going in their own relationships.
How's things going with you and Clay?
We're just trying to get aligned, honestly.
I have noticed that when he gets a little bit quieter, let him have his space. You just see him. He would go from bouncing around and being Clay to like kind of just like locking down.
Oh my God, that just lifted a weight off my shoulder.
Yeah.
AD is relieved that Clay shutting down is not just something that happens with her. Apparently it happens. It happened with the guys as well in the pods. And I understand it too. I have friends who are introverts. Their social battery, trash. Like trash. If they're around too many people for longer than an hour, it's a wrap. They're powering down. The problem is his power down was followed by a concerning statement. I feel like I'm going to disappoint you, or I'm worried about disappointing you, whatever it is that he said. I would have to investigate that. I really would have to. So it's great that she's getting more insight on his demeanor. Sometimes he is going to be in his head and maybe just dissociate, which is fine. It happens. But there was something going on in his mind. And considering what he said, let him have his moment, let him have his space. But at some point, I hope that she brings back up that conversation and asks, what in our relationship is making you have these concerns? Or what about the relationships around you is making you have these concerns? Let's iron it out instead of her just shoving yet another thing under the rug. Amy talks to Jeremy about the concerns she has introducing Johnny to her parents, more specifically her dad. Apparently, her dad gets very involved in her relationship, so yeah, he's the one to impress. Jeremy talks about still thinking about Sarah.
Mentally, I knew right off the bat she'd be someone who could put me in my spot.
She will.
Yeah, I do want to meet Sarah. Because the night we broke up, she asked me, she's like, is there something I did or could have done differently? It came down to just a fun thing.
Yeah.
And I want her to know that just because, like, I would still be friends with her outside of this.
Jeremy misses the playfulness of Sarah. In the pods, he did say it was a concern because they never got serious. It was always playful. They were always laughing, joking, and all that stuff, which is great, obviously, in a relationship. But you need to be with somebody who you know can have serious conversations at some point in your relationship, right? He said he wanted somebody who puts him in his place, and he's acknowledged that Laura is that person. So you got what you asked for. You wanted somebody to put you in your place. Laura has done that and will continue to do that. She's a little bit strict, but you said you like it. Leave Sarah Ann where she's at. Leave that girl alone. She's out there minding her business, being jokey with somebody else. Don't leave her alone, okay? So Jimmy and Chelsea at the end of their honeymoon are reflecting about their highlights and lowlights. I thought Chelsea was going to make it an issue because they didn't agree on what their lowlights were. He said it was something he ate. She thought it was going to be their agreements. He was like, no, it was the food. It wasn't the disagreements. But anyway, she didn't make it a thing. Thank God. Amy and Johnny are talking about the same thing. And then she says, if her dad does not approve of Johnny, that's a wrap.
I feel like I overshared a lot with my parents, and I feel like they were very involved in my relationship, and I feel like they care too much and they're super overprotective, which I get to an extent. It's hard not to get influenced when you're about to take such a huge leap in 4 weeks. If I don't get my dad's blessing, I don't know if I can move forward.
Amy says that in the past, she's been very easily influenced by her friends and family. So she's trying not to get her family as involved as she typically does. But either way, if Papa doesn't agree, that's it. Johnny's out of here. I'm always concerned when people say stuff like that because in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're living for your parents, what is your life going to be when they're gone? Because the natural order of things is that your parents are going to go before you do, right? When they're gone and you've been living your life for them, are you going to look back at your own life and be happy about the decisions that you made? I don't know. Family is obviously important. You want somebody who gets along with your family, but I would hope that they would trust your judgment as well and know that you're going to pick somebody who's good for you. But it's also because of my own family structure. My mom is so funny. My mom thinks that I've had a plethora of boyfriends and I just never chose to tell her. But realistically, there just wasn't anybody to introduce her to. And even when we were talking, I think it was in August, about how would you want me to introduce you to somebody who I was prepared to get married to? She's like, whenever you're ready. It is what it is. If you say, hey, this is my man, we're engaged, we want to get married, then I respect that. That's the kind of family that I come from. And we are African immigrants and a super religious family. Well, my parents are. I'm not as religious anymore. The point that I'm trying to say is I do think family involvement is important because they do see things that we tend to turn a blind eye to or have genuinely missed. So that is important, but live for yourself. The couples are back in Charlotte and Laura and Jeremy go over the house rules. I thought the house rules were pretty intuitive.
What could I do that would like drive you nuts?
Leave dishes in the sink at night. Oh, you have a lot. Mine are easy, so.
When you shave your face, leaving your hair in the sink, leaving the house with the TV and the lights on, half-eaten food around and not like throwing it away, not just like spit near the sink so it's all over the glass.
That's disgusting. I'm sorry.
She has a lot of rules, no doubt about that. And people have been making connections between Zenab and Cole. Absolutely. Yeah. The rules that she gave, though, they made sense to me. I totally understand what she's saying. And it makes me think, who are the kind of guys that she's been dating? Even Jeremy was like, okay, so you don't want me to act like a barn animal. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. But yeah, sorry, girl. Sorry that you've had to deal with people like that because that is wild. Then we have Kenneth and Brittany. They are talking about their own house rules. It seems like Kenneth is starting to show some flags here. So he wanted Brittany to head to the kitchen. He wanted Brittany to head over to the kitchen and start cooking. And she was like, well, hold on. I want to enjoy stuff too. And then when he got that phone, oh, you couldn't pry that thing out of his hands.
It's the first night in the crib. You gotta cook. We're gonna enjoy the food together. You feel me?
Yeah. Is the bed comfy?
Yeah, it's smooth.
Oh, it's memory foam. Do you have a preference on left or right?
The shift is crazy. The Kenneth who we saw in the pods in those first few days of their honeymoon is not the Kenneth who we see now. And I highly doubt that everything he's consumed by in that phone has to do with school stuff. I think it's the outside pressure. I think he told the people, hey, I'm engaged to a white woman, and it's bringing up some conversations that he wasn't prepared for. He still believes that people are going to accept Brittany as a person, but there's going to be some conversations, and I think he doesn't want to deal with that. I really don't think he wants to deal with that. Interesting, Kenneth. I didn't see this coming from you. And now Brittany is just yearning for some affection from this man, and he's just dissociated. Kenneth, what's going on, sweetie? Tell us, tell the group, tell the class. What's happening? Clay now opens up about conversations in his family, conversations with, people around his family surrounding infidelity. And he's concerned about his own fidelity.
My dad's a suave guy, always been good with women. My mom and dad were like best friends, but my dad still, my dad would take me with him to some of his infidelity trips. I've never seen a black relationship where the man is faithful. I'm always having the fear of like, can I just be with one person? I'm so grateful for the pod moment and like you helping me become a better person because I do love you. But there is demons that I fight with.
Yeah. I knew this woman was signing up to be a long-suffering wife. I just knew it. I felt it in my spirit. So he says he went along with his dad on these whatever kind of trips they were having where he was engaging with other women who were not his mother, and how this is something that's normal to him. Even the celebrities he looks up to are men who are known to be cheaters. So, concerning. Then he says he wonders if he's able to be monogamous. Where was this in the pods? Where was this monogamous talk in the pods, child? And then here AD pissing me off again the whole time. Yeah. Girl, if you don't ask this man more questions, say something. Say anything. What makes you think you won't be monogamous? Is non-monogamy something that you do want to engage in? How would you feel if I wasn't okay with being in a non-monogamous relationship? Cheating is a deal breaker for me. So if that's something you're going to do, no questions asked, I'm leaving. Say anything. Anything. Other than, yes, oh yeah, I understand. And you know what? I could be the one who's pushing my own relationship norms onto her. Maybe she's cool with non-monogamy. Maybe that's something that she's totally fine with. But the fact that he's framing it as infidelity, never seen a faithful man, things of that nature, it makes me think that she wants monogamy. So girl, ask the questions. She's breaking my heart. She really is breaking my heart. I don't know what kind of relationships she's been in where she feels like she cannot speak up. But girl, this is the time to speak. There is commitment on the line. And you don't even know if this man is able to commit to you and only you. You need to talk up. Speak, man. Ask questions. Apparently something in episode 8 is going to go down. You people on Discord have been teasing. And I don't know what's going to happen. So please, no spoilers. I'm getting to it, okay? But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be in the comments for this one. I'm going to be in the comments. I want to see what your thoughts are on episode 7 because a lot was happening.